And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, my friend said this would be the easiest passive income. I'm about to fight this dude's or this woman's boyfriend, and she just got out of jail. I'm 3 months behind on her rent, and this is easy. I was like, never again. So that was the advice from a friend. I wish it didn't. I wish it just ended there.
Are you a morning person, Ian, though?
There.
Yeah, I'm kind of, well, I'm not a nighttime person. So.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, there are people that exist like that, fair enough. For me, I'm like, if I don't need to be up, I'm not going to be up.
Hey, Ben.
Hey guys.
Morning, Ben. Welcome.
Morning guys. How you doing?
Good. Really good. I had a really good latte, so I'm good.
Yeah, the person that doesn't need one is having one.
It was so good. Creme brulee latte. How could I not get it? It's like, wait, what's this? It was so cool. The caramelized sugar, there was a caramelized sugar thing on top with a little bit of cream, so it gave the creme brulee kind of flavor. Delicious. It's that good that I'm still thinking about it.
Probably the last person in the world to recommend a coffee to. Like, who needs to stay up more and be more alert and stuff? It's like
Yeah.
the last person to pick.
So Ben has a good idea of how my sleeping pattern is, and it's really bad. It's basically this dolphin chronotype thing where you sleep like few hours a night. So I'm just letting you know, Ian, I don't sleep much. I sleep about 3 to 4 hours on average. If I can get 6 hours of sleep, it's like magic, like phenomenal magic. But I usually average about 3 to 4, which is why I'm tired all the time.
I don't see how she does that, honestly.
Do you like wake up naturally?
What happened?
So like, do you wake up naturally after 3 hours of sleeping, or like, why do you sleep so little?
Yeah, sometimes I just wake up. You know what? It was so messed up. So I have been under the weather, and I took this stuff called NyQuil, which basically is medicine for like a cold, and it has stuff in it to help you sleep. I took 2, which is like the recommended dosage for sleep. I woke up 3 hours later, and I was like, "But I took NyQuil. Why can't I just go to sleep?" It was crazy. So that kind of showed me that I think I'm just like this, because like when I asked like my bestie, because I forget how my sleeping pattern is, because I stopped paying attention to it after a while, and my best friend was just like, "You've been like this for years." He's like, "Whenever you get 6 hours of sleep, you're always surprised. You're acting like it's like magic to you." And I'm like, "It is." It's like I don't sleep. Oh yeah, which reminds me, I wanted to try this new background here.
Oh yeah. We've got to actually go into the bar itself, don't we?
I changed it a little bit.
What have you done now? She keeps renovating this place. Seriously.
I'm like always coming in with a new background. But it's okay. It's pretty in theme if I'm constantly coming in with a new background. Makes sense. You'll find out. All right.
Yeah, that's your champagne bar and all that kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It's a lovely champagne room.
Ken's joining us from an exotic resort, it would appear. Or was she sorting himself out?
So fancy.
Here he is.
There we go.
Here he is. Should we get going?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Well, welcome everybody. Nice to see you all to None of Your Business Bar. For those of you new joining either live or listening or watching the replay or wherever you are, this is the place where we as business owners, group owners, entrepreneurs, hard workers in general, leave our business at the door for a bit, because we're more than our business, and just come in to our bar and just literally chat about whatever is going on. Each week we kind of have a loose theme or topic to sort of guide us around, but we don't have to stick to it stringently. And literally it's just a place for us to enjoy something that's not business related for a little while. And I know Lexi's got this funky question for us to start off with.
Yes. So tonight's topic is worst advice you ever took and actually followed. So it's pretty much like the mistakes that you made and the lessons that you learned because you
Oh,
listened
boy.
to other people. Oh, Vishad has some. I think you need to start.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Literally, don't follow the worst bit of advice I got was try out the Indian dating model.
What?
It's fucking useless.
I need context.
As a singleton, from my background, there's always a spectre or undercurrent of if things don't work out here, go over there and find a partner. And there's always that encouragement. Oh, it'll work, and there's so many people, and you know, da da da. So one year, I decided to call everybody's bluff, going, all right then, if you're all saying it's gonna be good and you know stuff like that, let's go and try it. And I kind of regretted it even after I said it, because of just how different it is out there. So over here, it's very much orientated to the first point of contact is between you, i.e. the single boy or girl, and the opposite, the other single person, boy, girl, whichever. Over there, it's no, that's not first contact. That's the parents make the first contact. So that's already a kind of weird scenario where you have to go through the family to make contact with the other person. And here we're used to things like if you're on apps, you've got a profile, or even if not, if in a live bar, you actually go and meet people. Right, there's no like setup. You just go and meet. Okay, maybe if they're like dating events, you know, speed dating or whatever, that kind of thing. You know what's going on there. It's like you get 2-3 minutes with the person, and off you go. Over there, nothing like that happens. There's no live events. The profiles are just hilarious. So okay, I'll mention that. So on the profiles, let me put it to the room. What would you expect on a profile? Just a couple of things. What would you expect?
Name, something they like,
Yeah.
where they're at,
Right.
you know,
Exactly. Right.
a date they enjoy.
Right. So that all makes sense. You'd read that and go, okay, I can make a call on the person without just looking at the photo, because everyone said the main advice out there on that front is don't just look at the photo. Right. Okay. So you read the rest of it and you get things like name, okay, date of birth, okay, education, right, occupation, reads a bit like a CV, but fine. Dad's name, mum's name, granddad's name, grandma's name, brother's name, sister's name, brother's occupation, sister's occupation, blood group, which I always find bizarre. Like, I'm not here to like donate blood. What are you doing?
Oh, they're matching you by blood type?
Yeah. Are they vampires or I don't know what's going on. In terms of like the actual person, it would say 4 things in terms of interests. Always the same. Always the same. Listening music, traveling, reading, cooking. That's it. No other detail, no other context, just that. And last thing is their address. Oh, in terms of contact number, it's never the person. It's their mum or their dad or their brother. So you've got this weird scenario here where you're ringing a brother of a so that took time to get your head around. But just, you know, I don't want to keep going on and on, but just the system out there is so unique. The best example, there's a documentary on Netflix called Indian Matchmaking. It follows one of these matchmakers where she tries to match people in India and also in America and the UK. Have a watch. all of what goes on in there is true. You might think, what is going on there? And it's like, no, it's true. It's all true. And I'll leave you with this, like the matchmaker, when like she encounters the fact that two random human beings don't fancy each other, or they don't, you know, they get on, but like there's no spark, and they both get that, she doesn't get it. So well worth a watch with that.
All right. I've heard of something like that, like back in the day, like with my grandparents, but I don't think that's the way it is in the Philippines that much today.
I don't think anywhere is like that now. Everyone else has moved on. They're just still stuck.
That's interesting. Anybody have something like to comment on?
I've got something quickly.
Go on.
So it's I'm going to change the topic. So a YouTuber is doing this very expensive course via school, and it was all about using AI to do like original content that the algorithm will like, and you'll get a lot of retention, and you're saying kind of like slightly different things. And it was just so complicated. You had to ask Claude what to ask Grok to get the right answer. Then you get Grok's answer, put it into Claude and say, well, what do you think about this? And then you have to do all these other things. And at the time, the AI programs would sort of run out of credits. So you only get about 4 questions, and it's like, oh, you're out of credits. And it's like, yeah, but I want to make the video today. Well, you're out of credits. So yeah, I just gave up on that, and I'm getting more into just try and be yourself a lot more, put a lot more of you into it. And with YouTube, you don't want to give too many facts. You've got to remember, and you've got to sort of read from a script, or what is this again? Because it just comes across really dull and really boring. And then also, I mean, this is the contradiction of YouTube. If you give someone the answer, they say, okay, thanks, bye. You know, I've got the answer. You have to get them to think about, well, you need to look at the problem in a slightly different way, and then this is how you should approach it maybe. And then, oh, you need, you know, one-to-one coaching to get the proper answer. So
AI
yeah.
talking to AI, bloody hell.
Oh yeah, no, crazy. So I left this group, and yeah, the owner of the group wasn't very happy with me.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's good. You'd say that's the worst advice that you went through with?
Well, it's just recent and just kind of different.
I like that. Kenneth, it looked like you had something that you were going to say.
No, I was just agreeing, but I know I'm on my old laptop, so I might be laggy. So, but I think I've taken a lot of bad advice just because I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. But the one that like really stands out that I remember, where I remember standing there and I was like, why did I think this was a good idea? But I ended up getting a rental property so I could get passive income. And I got a duplex, so I had 2 chances at making money. So like I had, you know, like the price of 1 mortgage or 2 doors, essentially. I could, you know, like double my income. And I remember getting one of my units ready, and it was someone that was a little younger than me, and she was gonna be there. She was a single mom. She had her dad co-sign, and I had my agent, my real estate agent, kind of pull up the paperwork, make sure everything was fine. And he was like, well, you know, she doesn't have the best credit, but they're willing to put a really large deposit down. And I was like, well, that's great. You know, this is my first go around at this. And I got the rental property because my friend had gotten a rental property. He was like, hey, like I got myself a unit in downtown where I am, it does well, you should do the same thing while you're working like your day job. You can earn passive money. This way it's very low maintenance. Fast forward, I want to say like in month, she signed like a year-long lease, and I think she was in month 5 or 6, and I just stopped hearing from her. Like, I was getting the rent, and then, I contacted her. I was just like, hey, like it's been a couple of weeks. I just wanted to check up on you. Nothing. So I finally like contacted the dad and found out that she had gone to jail.
Uh-oh.
And, I was like, okay, life happens. That's okay. But what ended up happening was her boyfriend was living in the house. So now we have her in jail, and then her boyfriend's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, that's crazy, because someone needs to pay rent. I'm essentially paying for a couple to live here, because one's in jail that's under the lease. And he's like, I'll get you the money. And it was like a runaround for week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month passes. And I was like, hey bro, I'm gonna have to trespass you, because you don't need to be here. And he's like, well, like she's leasing this place, so technically like I have a right. I'm like, as long as she's in jail and no one's paying, this is my land, my friend.
Yeah.
And he's like, understand, blah blah blah. A couple of weeks later, she gets released. All the power's turned off. I have the other unit that is open and I'm renovating, and she's been siphoning power from my unit next door while I'm away. So I had to check on the unit, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, she's like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's a little crazy. Like I don't know what to do. I'm trying to get my life together, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's a great, sad story. I'm not here. I'm not your parent. We need to kind of take, and like I had a little bit more rapport into how I articulate everything, but I just made it known. I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry to hear this, but I also have bills to pay at the end of the month, and right now this is not the thing. Fast forward even more, she's having like this dispute with her boyfriend, crazy stalking, and I remember like she's in the unit, and I'm knocking, and she's like peering out of the window, and she sees me, and she's like, oh, I thought you were blah blah blah. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just here checking on the unit. And I've been haranguing for like a month or two about rent, and like we have to get things situated. She was like, well, like he's around right now, blah blah blah, and I don't know what to do. And I see him like walking up the driveway, and she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm scared, blah blah blah. I was like, go inside, call the cops. And I'm like looking at this guy, and I'm like, and he's like, oh, I can go in. She's just, she's just like, something's up with her. I got to take care of her. I'm like, no, you need to leave this right now. You need to leave here right now, or else I'll take care of you. This is my property. You're going to have to go. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, my friend said this would be the easiest passive income. I'm about to fight this woman's boyfriend, and she just got out of jail. I'm 3 months behind on her rent, and this is easy. I was like, never again. So that was the advice from a friend. I wish it didn't. I wish it just ended there. She actually ended up like being in the paper because of that unit. I had made the local paper because like her boyfriend in the next several days broke into the house, and she like was gone. I was just like, you know what? This maybe for some people, this is not for me. So no longer.
Lad, get onto Netflix, man. That needs its own series.
Yeah. So, and that was my first tenant. So after that, if it was like a couple of years and then I had a bad tenant, I'd be like, oh, like this, like it just comes with the territory. First one, I was like, this is a sign from God, and we're not going to do this. So,
Brilliant.
I'm going to listen. I don't need a sign to your sign. Thank you.
yeah.
Jeepers.
Wow. How about you, Ben? Do you have a worst advice you ever took story?
Yeah, that was a good story, Ken. The issue is that my story now will suck. Because like mine will be boring. I actually kind of have like two, but like I'm thinking which one should I talk about. One is about money, one is about productivity. Which one you guys are more interested in?
Rashad?
Go for money.
Okay, that was actually the one that was on my mind too.
Great.
So yeah, I was just watching some stuff around it. So
Great minds,
the
man.
worst money advice. I think actually the productivity advice was worse objectively, but like this is more on my top of my mind lately, which is when I first got into the whole like entrepreneurship world and started making actual money online. I noticed that there were like two different voices online of like like how you should manage your money. One were the people that were like, oh yeah, put every cent away, and like you should save everything up, and like the more you save the better, and live like you are broke but like save things up. And there was this other group of people who were saying that money is there to be invested, and this was more the entrepreneurship group who was saying like, hey, if you have money you should be investing that money. And the issue was that and I actually heard this advice. I mean, actually, I could start for the story. So it's like, and I also was kind of like very deep in the whole productivity space, and I noticed on myself that like I tend to justify nearly every purchase through the lens of like this is an investment, even though things weren't an investment. And at the same time, people online were talking about the fact of like, at least in the young entrepreneurship space, of like, oh, if you buy this nice villa or this, live in a nice place, like that's an investment into yourself because now you have more confidence to make even more money. Or like a sport car is not a waste of money. I didn't buy a sport car, but it's like that's what people were saying. but it's like rather like it's actually an investment because now you have the motivation to make more money, and now your self-image is higher, so you will make more money. And there is some truth to it. Like there is some truth to the whole abundance mindset. And like if you actually like treat the money right, it's actually like you will feel like making more and you are more confident and those things. But it's only true to an extent. And maybe it's only true at the beginning when someone has really like scarcity mindset around money or some of those things. And so what happened with me is like I fall into the whole Wi-Fi money stuff and started making pretty good money online. And I also had a business partner at that time. So I started traveling, living in other places on earth, like mostly in Bangkok, Bali. Actually, I live in Bali and Malaysia and these places. And what I started to notice is like after every single month, I spent somehow exactly the amount of money I made. And I couldn't really understand it. So like, what was happening? And if I was making 1 month less, I spent less. If I make 1 month more, I spend more. And I was like, yeah, like we are just investing into experiences, like all those things. And it was all going well until 1 month I made like way more money than previous month. Like I had my first like 10K a month. Actually, my only 10K per month. And it's like a few months later, I had no clue where that money went. It just disappeared. Like somehow I spent somehow I lived the exact same lifestyle I lived before, but it's like I haven't seen that money anywhere. And I'm like, okay, where does this money go? And my only, I only thing I always thought during that time was like, oh yeah, like I was splitting the money with my business partner, and it was kind of complicated, and maybe that's why I could put so much money aside or couldn't. But then, besides looking at my money and actually starting to treat my money right, next year I started to travel alone, and I had the exact same amount of money as before. So like. No, like I technically had double the money because I didn't need it to give half to my business partner. And suddenly I also spent all of the money. And it took me like around 1.5 years to get to the point where I'm like, okay, so the thing I was doing, I wasn't actually investing that money. I was actually just found a fancy way to figure out like how to like blew that money away. And it's like, actually, this is where it comes back to something I heard from Leila Hormozi, where she said this idea that middle class people confused investments and liabilities, and they believe a lot of liabilities are investments. So for some people, I believe their house is an investment, but a house is not an investment, for example. Same thing with a car, like you can justify like, oh yeah, I go to work with this car, but it's not an investment. And yeah, so like I really started to ask myself a question at the end of 2025, where I got into this position of like, I really started to see the scarcity mindset that happens when you actually don't have the money. And then I asked myself this one question of like, okay, what gives you more of an abundance mindset? Maybe, let's say I'm on a sales call and talking with a potential prospect. Is it me being in an expensive villa at an expensive location? Or is it having enough money in my bank account that I don't need to close a client for the next 5 years? And I was like, oh yeah, okay, sure, like maybe those first materialistic things have for some people, but I realized it was way more important to me to like have that saving, because that saving is not just something average people who have a 9 to 5 do. It's more something you do so that you don't need to operate from a scarcity mindset, and that you can actually think long term. So the first advice I got was this whole idea of like invest in yourself, because a lot of people, and actually it comes from originally Samoans, who was very big on this idea of like, he used to tell people to invest in yourself, but he said to people invest in yourself because he had a paid interest in the fact of people investing in themselves, so they buy their course. And so that's why it became such a popular belief in the online entrepreneurship space that you should invest everything into yourself. Well, it's way better to actually have savings, I believe. So, yeah.
Nice. Everyone has such good stories. Let's see. So mine would be, it was the first time as like an adult that I came back to the Philippines, because I was living in the States. And I came here because it was a prize for something that I won. And by being here, I was part of the, I guess, reward okay, so I was a winner of a beauty pageant, and I was coming here to be an ambassador of that beauty pageant. And I basically had to do all these showings and do all this charity work, and then like go to like mayor's places and get the key to the city, and there's like presentations and bands and stuff. So it was like a huge thing. And part of it also was you go to like TV stations, and then you kind of like guest in the audience, and then you guest behind the, backstage and everything. And I was there. I had to do it for 1 month. And it was like the last week that I was going to be here. And I ended up getting like asked if I had a manager when I was at one of the TV shows. And I ended up talking to them, and somebody was like, if you want, you can, there's a talent manager here that would be interested in you and all of that. And I was going to meet him, but one of my aunts was like, I know somebody else that you can use as a manager instead. So I went along with her, and I talked to this manager. She seemed like a nice lady. And at the time, my mom was with me. So we basically like signed a contract where I would work with her, and she would help me get work in the Philippines and everything. And I'm like 20 years old at the time. So she asked the manager if she could like just watch over me, because it's like I barely spoke the language. I hadn't been here since I was a child. Like I don't know anything. Like I barely remember anything, and I'm not really close to the family there because I didn't grow up with them. So my mom was just like, okay, just make sure you tell everything to your manager, and make sure you check in with her, all this stuff. I'm leaving you with her because I trust her. So make sure you like treat her the way you would treat me, which was horrible advice because that manager was like on another level of anger. And she would like cuss people out and scream and yell. Like there came a point where I had a TV show and she came on the set, and it was like a huge set where we had like 200 to 300 extras, and I was doing like this intro into the TV show. So it was called Club TV. So there was like a walkway where I'm talking to the camera, and then I turn around and I walk into the club. And I did that scene probably like twice. And by the second time, she's just screaming like, "Why are you so fat? You look so fat." And it's like everybody's there, and I'm just like standing there, and I'm like, "Thanks, Mom. Great advice."
What the hell, man?
Yeah, it was insane. Like it was definitely like on another level of experience that I didn't expect. Like especially because I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about people's temperaments at the time. I'm thinking about, okay, how do I do a good job? How do I host better? Like, how do I move better? Like, how do I improve? Like, that was my focus, the talent part. So that's what I was doing. But her as the manager, it was like, yeah, it was just that's just like one little thing. She used to like come to the guardhouse and like question the guard and like ask questions about me. And she would like talk to people to like stalk me. And it was just like it was like overly controlling. I guess that's like just how you're like treated here, but it's just like me coming from the States. Like I've been independent since I was 15. So I'm not thinking that I really need to be taken care of. Although yes, you should be careful. You know, you don't know what goes on. You don't know the area and everything, but I was in a relatively safe area. So it was just weird. I had to actually like hide. Like I had like friends along the way, and they're just like, they would be like, just stay at my place. I have an extra bed, or like I have an extra room. And that's what I would end up doing.
So she paid for someone to stalk you. Is that right?
Stalk me, control me, like
why?
Like verbally abuse me, because that's how my mom is. It's like she said to me, because I talked to her about it after the fact. I was like, why did you tell me to trust this person? You didn't even know her, but I trusted you when you told me to trust her. And then she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And I'm like, cool, good talk. So
jeez.
Yeah, that was it. Oh yeah. And I got so depressed because I barely spoke the language. So I was like here, and I only spoke with like a handful of people. So I got so depressed that there was a period of time where I was just getting like blackout drunk. So I wouldn't even like remember things sometimes. Like it was like I was on that level of being depressed. And then I ended up like sick. I ended up in the hospital. My dad had to come down for a month just to make sure I was like back on my feet. And then I talked to the producer about signing off and ending the contract early. So we did like another additional season, like where we recorded ahead of time. And then I was like, he's like, what do you want? And he's like, I can do, and he's, because he has so much money, he's like, we can do all of these things that you want. I can take you here. We can go here. We can do this. I can get you sponsorships here. I can get you this kind of clothing. And I was just like, I just want to go home and be with my family. Like, I just want to go home. And that was the end of that. So.
Bloody hell.
Yep.
Ken dealing with people going to jail, you dealing with the artificial stalker. It's all happening. Jeepers. Is any of that recorded stuff online anywhere?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I have some old like digital copies somewhere, so I have to find them. You're so funny. You're like, I want more information. I was thinking about that because someone asked me about it also. And yeah, I might start posting about that in my school, just because it was camera work mostly. Like that's mostly what I was doing at the time, was just being on camera.
Could hold the premiere in the bar. You got a champagne lounge now. So you can do it in there, right?
Yes, and then you can play your guitar.
Yeah, can do. If your mic will pick it up, that is.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how to fix that either.
Honestly,
do you guys know anything about sound? Because whenever Vishad tries to play his guitar, I can't hear it. Wait, try to play it right now and see if any of them can hear it, because I don't know if it's just me.
Must I?
Just do a string. Yes. Just get it. It's right there.
Is it though?
It's right behind you. Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, it is actually. Yeah, hang on. Oh, actually making me get up. Ow. Excuse me while I clonk around. I'm sorry for anyone listening. There's like me trying to not hit myself with the guitar.
We don't hear it. I don't hear it. Do you guys hear anything?
I haven't played anything yet.
No, you're saying clonking around. I don't hear you making any sounds.
Yeah, it's soft clonking. All right, no, need a plectrum. I'm not doing it with my fingers. Hold on.
Did you guys hear that?
Well, no, probably not. I don't know. Hold on.
I don't think he played it yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. Here we go. Right, okay. All right, move.
It says, I like how your mic is also like premiered.
Right, okay, see this.
Tiny bit.
Did anyone hear that? Right, let's put this down a bit. Right.
It's not just me.
How can you not? You can hear my voice.
I
Right?
don't know.
Yeah, Ken heard it.
Like, no, he didn't. He's being sarcastic.
I'll get me coat. Like, you can hear my voice. And the guitar, look, here's the guitar. There's the mic.
Do not hear the guitar. Just do one string right next to the mic. We don't hear anything.
Seriously.
Maybe it's your mic.
It's not my mic. How can it be my mic? You can hear me, and look how far my head is from Mike. Ken, man.
Kenneth said he can't hear you.
I'm trying my best here. It's all happening. Right. Look, right. Here again. Here's the mic. No, here's the guitar, and here's the mic. So you can see how close they are, right? So.
It's not
I
just
hear
me,
it a
right?
little bit.
See, Ben did it.
It's
There you go.
very, very quiet.
It's a faint sound. We hear faint sounds, but we don't hear like
Right.
a strumming
The good
of
thing
a
is,
guitar.
this is being recorded, so I'm going to actually hear if anything's so, like... Right, enough of that.
I've been trying to get him to play the guitar.
I'm playing the damn
Then-
thing, but you can't hear it.
Okay, stop yelling.
Yeah, well, it's like I was turning around, and then they might not hear me from the mic, so I had to say that. It's like,
What CD was that? All right, guys. Well, I mean, any other topics? We can go ahead and do some topic switching if we don't want to dig deep into the worst advice that we've ever took. Not everyone at once. Calm down. Just one at a time. No?
I think we came here for entertainment. Entertain us.
Yeah. I know, Vishad.
What's that line from Gladiator? Are you not entertained? What's that?
Yes. Breads and circuses. I don't know how you were able to play your guitar in like other meetings, but you can never play it whenever I'm on the, like he's literally played it in other places. He's like, oh yeah. I go, how was your live last night? He's
That's
like, oh, it
true.
was so good. You know, I played some music. Then I'm like, let me hear it. And this is how it is every
Speak
time.
to Sonia, it worked. Right.
Did you do
Maybe.
anything different?
No,
What happened?
nothing. No.
Maybe it was Zoom and not Meet.
What did she use? It might have been Zoom, actually.
No way.
Because it could be the noise filtering here.
I can't remember. Anyway, we shall see on the recording what comes up, because this might get a bit weird. I had a question. Everybody's given
Yes.
like examples and stories of the worst advice they received. What's the worst advice you've given? We were like, shit, I shouldn't have said that. somebody must have said something. We're like, nah.
Yeah,
I
follow
only
your
gave good
dreams.
advice.
Is probably the worst that I've given.
What?
Follow your dreams.
What? That's worse. Why worse?
No, I'm just teasing.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm all about the dark humor.
Just be yourself. But I don't like myself.
Yeah, those sort of generic ones always sound a bit kind of loose. Like, be yourself. Yeah, but what does that mean? It's like when Ben was talking about invest in yourself. It's like, well, you get the ethos. It seems like, but
It depends how you interpret it.
yeah. Because I heard that phrase, I'm like, that makes sense, because it feels like you make decisions for yourself. Like, and it doesn't even, because when I was in your story, like, one question I thought was like, well, yes, there is that kind of choice when you have the revenue or the money to go, okay, do I save it? Do I put it in things that will make me a passive income, or, the money works itself? Or do I spend it on whatever it is I'm spending it on? But it feels like we have to make a story for what we're spending it on to justify to ourselves of, oh, I'm spending this money. Whether it's, buying, so-called luxury items like a house or a car or whatever, we always have like a story behind it, like, well, I've always wanted this car, or we need a bigger house or whatever. But do we need to do that? Why do we have to convince ourselves of what we're spending? Because it's our money, we're spending it, and it always seems to be this kind of, does that preclude our decisions to spend in the first place? Like, okay, if it's not a house or a car, with things like, say, a holiday, or something that doesn't fulfill a function, as it were, whereas, like, say you needed a new item in your kitchen, a fridge or a washing machine, like, well, I need it to keep my food refrigerated or to wash my clothes. That's a function. But when it's like a holiday or something more on yourself, you're like, can I afford it now? This kind of thing. It's like, do we just jump to stories to make ourselves feel better about a situation?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the symptom of the modern world of, like, all right, the world of the hustle culture, productivity space of, like, it makes us need to tell a story around every purchase, or at least that was what happened with me. And even with the vacation thing, because if you're on a vacation, you can say, yeah, if I take this time off, then I can be better for my business, or like, I need this time for this thing. And I really had a period, and I'm still not sure if I'm fully out of it, where like everything went through that productivity lens of, like, I couldn't just have something for the sake of having it, not even like an ice cream or some dumb thing. And because I've been so long in the whole like self-improvement space, that it's like it was always about, like, oh, you neglect your current self in order to make your future self proud. And there is this interesting philosophical question around it of, like, let's say you don't eat the ice cream to get the six pack. But okay, does that mean you will keep neglecting your current self for forever for your future self? And when that will be enough? And also, like, I mean, there's definitely a balance between the two, but it's like I definitely had times when I got to the point where I realized that, like, or I get to the point where my current self's desires like stop mattering, and only my future self's desires mattered. And it was a kind of messed up place to be.
There's a good distinction there.
It's so relatable. That's like
Do you do that too, Alexi?
yeah, it's like productivity guilt. Like I have such a hard time relaxing. Like it, and there's things that will happen where it's like, okay, you can't work on your laptop. You just got to wait for a little bit. And I just get so antsy. I'm just like, I need to do stuff. I need to finish what I'm working on and all that stuff. Like I need my laptop back. What do you mean there's no internet? Like all these things. But it's one of those things where if it happens, like, you know, like why even fight it? Like, this is something that's outside of my control. But even though that's outside of my control, I still want to do stuff. It's just like, but this is what I want to do. And it's like, do I really want to do it? Or is it that I want to get things done so that I like feel accomplished with the things that I got done today and I can just check them off my list for the day? So it's kind of like, if I try to relax, I go into, I would go into a lot of guilt. So it's now I'm trying to like reframe it.
So why the guilt?
Because I'm not being productive.
But why is that? Why do you take that as a bad thing?
I don't know. I get like as entertained, like as easily entertained as I am, I also get bored pretty easily. So
right.
I like to do things that I actually enjoy, and the stuff that I'm working on is the stuff that I enjoy. You know, if it's like, for example, right now we're in like monsoon typhoon season. So it's a lot of rainy days. It's not like I can really go out too much. And like the mosquitoes are huge during this time. It's like, I don't really want to be outside so much.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, then what am I going to do? Just like, well, I could work on stuff. I can get things done. I can build out what I'm building. You know, I can get things like more organized so that I can function like more productively and more efficiently. Like those are the things that I'll think about. It's just like, oh, because there's always something to do. So it's like, I'm not the type that'll just like really pick up my phone and like scroll or anything like that. It's very rare if I do it. So then it's like, okay, I need to do something. Like sometimes it's like, if I wanted to walk, I could just like pull out my walking pad and walk on that. But sometimes it's like, I just want to work on these things. Like I get excited about it, or I just want to like get everything organized. Like that's a huge thing for me. So yeah, I go through a lot of that, but I don't go through the guilt that like Ben was saying about an ice cream. Like if I want ice cream, I'll eat ice cream.
It was just the imaginary scenario. But what about like, do you do anything in your day that has like zero productivity benefits? Like it can't be connected. Like the only thing is like, oh, I just enjoy it, and there is no, you couldn't even justify it through productivity even if you needed to.
So basically, what you did as a kid, I'm hearing, you just did it because you want to do it.
Yeah,
like what we were talking about last week with our childhood things, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll color. Sometimes no, that's productivity. Does enjoying meals count as productivity?
No, see, this is the thing.
I mean,
you
okay,
have
there.
to put everything on a story of productivity. Like, I'm doing this because. Sometimes the because is why I just want to do it. That's it. It's not.
Oh no, because he asked specifically like if there were things that I did outside that are not about productivity.
Yeah,
so I'm
exactly.
thinking like, okay, what are those things?
Things
like
you just do because
intentionality.
you do it, right? There's no like, well, I have to do it because I need to be productive, or there should be a result, or there should be an outcome. You're just doing it because, like, as you said, I fancy an ice cream. I'll have an ice cream. I need to go.
Yeah, or a latte.
Oh, your fancy latte, yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes it more productive.
What does?
Would you drink a milkshake
I mean,
too? Would you drink like a chocolate milkshake?
Not
Would
chocolate.
you replace
Maybe
the coffee with
Oreo and peanut butter milkshake. That I would definitely have. Not chocolate.
But did you have it?
I mean, they have it in the States at this place called Smash Burger. They make it with Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
So that's the thing you would just have because you just want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to food, there's not really much denying of anything. I'm like, this is what I want.
So that's what I mean. So
like,
does it just have to be about food? Where like, can it go into other bits where you just do it because you want to do it? There doesn't have to be that guilt attached. Like, oh fuck, I should be doing something else, or looking more busy, or looking more ways to alleviate my boredom.
Yeah, I don't really care about looking busy because not a lot of people watch me.
Okay.
It's more along the lines of, you know, I'll get on a call with someone or like message back and forth with someone for a little bit just to check in, or I'll like try to relax and like watch something just to like take a break from like escape into something. Like if I escape into anime, then I'm just like, oh yeah, let me escape into this world for a little bit. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm motivated now. Like, you know, but I did it because that's something I wanted to watch. Or like there's this one anime, it's called Kotaro Lives Alone. It's on Netflix. It's so cute. That one I love watching because it's like inner child kind of vibes. So that one is very much like if I would have watched that as a child, I definitely would have still loved it until I was through adulthood. So good. I highly recommend. Kotaro Lives Alone, Netflix.
No,
Yeah.
that's a good example.
Yeah. Honestly, it sounds like it brings you just back to, we say childhood because that's where it was, right? We experienced all that time and space to just go, I'm just doing this for, well, I enjoy it. I just enjoy it. I don't have to back it up and you know, life experiences and programming taught us that, like, you know, we do have to be, you know, well, I say have to be, but we're shown that like to be productive is acceptable, and to just perceptively, well, to others to what we do may just perceive we're wasting time, or we should be doing things that will push us on or whatever. So we get that messaging that, hang on, all of a sudden what we're doing is not acceptable. So, but we still like doing those things. And then we find ways to suppress what we've actually enjoying to go, okay, I've got to look or be productive. And suddenly all those patterns become very strong to go, yes, you're enjoying, you know, you want to go and do something you enjoy, but you got to back it up by like, why are you doing it? And then get back into productive mode or whatever. I think if we tap back into, you know, that kind of childlike perception where you just do things like, you know, little mini examples. Like at the moment, you know, I could do more in business and stuff, and you know, I'm not going to talk about business a lot because it's not the point. But you know, I want to work on this craft project. Okay, the craft project has a deadline of middle of September, but that's my choice to even do one in the first place. Now, is that going to bring me anything productive or, you know, a result? No, I'm just doing it for my own gratification. I had this idea in my head. I'm like, this could look good, and I fleshed it out, and I'm building it.
I think that's good. That's the creativity. Like, I feel like that's so important for you to tap into because I feel like it's a good habit to have where you can just tap into the creativity and go. Yeah, because that's needed more in the world today.
That's it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just enjoy yourself. Whether that's investing in yourself, being, you know, having some fun, whatever.
I mean, the investing in self that Ben was talking about earlier, that's, you know, sometimes it is something like that, like the investing in self. It's like, like for me, I could go, okay, I'm going to get this motorcycle because I need to get from point A to point B. But it's actually like a double thing for me because it's just like, okay, I can get this because it will get me from point A to point B, but I'll have a great time getting there. Because I just like, the second I'm on my bike, it's just like, I can be going 15 miles per hour and I'm like, woohoo, like enjoying myself. So it's like, sometimes I'll do that. I'll just drive out. It's just, I don't even have anywhere to go. Sometimes I'm like, where should I go? Where's the nearest nature I can go to? Wetlands. And then I'll just ride there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't need to check in. You don't need to go, oh, why am I doing this? It's like, no, just do it. Just, you know, enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I think we all could use more of that, especially because we're so bombarded by everything just coming in. I feel like that's what's been affecting me a lot is when there's so much noise, like people just coming in, whether it's like a bunch of emails, a bunch of notifications, a bunch of messages, like all these things coming in. I'm just like, okay, it's just a lot of noise though. It's very, very in line with the theme that I'm noticing, particularly for this week, where it's just like, just cut the noise. And I think this is cool because that's something that wasn't addressed in a previous conversation I had to this, where it's just like, oh, but like also remember like to have fun.
We should put a poster in the bar for that. No, we have.
Yes.
It's at the bottom.
Oh,
My hand
it is right there. Have
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. My finger
Yes.
pointing wasn't great there.
No, you did good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's funny because like it's also one could explore the realization of like what happened, like the productive realizations of what happened if you don't have fun, if you actually become less productive. But it kind of becomes this paradoxical problem of like you don't want to tie it to productivity, but like in some sense it's very hard to like separate them, and it's like I at least noticed on myself that like when I'm not having fun, like my creativity drops. It's also like bad for my nervous system and do stuff and yeah, it's like I realized that like so much of business is also, it's like some of these businesses we are in, it's like you actually have to be in a good mood so people are kind of attracted to you and attracted to your business. If you are like feel like you have to hustle through and you have to grind through, like people will see that on sales calls, on messages with clients, prospects, like all of these people will see that. So in a very funny sense, it's also the most productive thing to do, to have fun. and you know, it's interesting. So I actually went pretty deep on studying this, I think a week ago, where I was thinking about this idea of like, there was this one YouTuber called Alex Becker who came to this conclusion that like one of the biggest thing that also helps with business success is not what you do when you work, but what you do when you don't work.
Yeah.
Because like it's very hard to do work if you like get blackout drunk every day for 4 hours after work, and it's like and don't sleep at night, and then you know, next day it's like sure you can do your 4 to 8 hours of work, but it's like it won't really be good work hours. Or if you do drugs after like your work hours. So it's like, but if you have a good leisure activities, then you can actually have like a good session the next day. And I actually thought it a step further and was thinking about this thing of like most of our places on earth currently, and even most in history's places on earth, the innovations that came from certain places were defined of how that society spent its time or how it spent its leisure time. So what I mean by that is like, and it's just one theory, but for example, Silicon Valley became successful is because it was full of nerds who read fiction books and played video games. And these leisure books then inspired a certain type of work that led to a certain outcome. In Scandinavia, people spend a lot of time outdoors, so that's why they made IKEA, for example, or they make very good furniture. Or like Japan was inspired a lot by anime and robots, and so they very big on robotics and this type of things. Or in like ancient Greece was very big on like just not doing anything and just philosophizing with your friends, and they seen it as the biggest value to like leisure as the biggest thing, and Western philosophy emerged from that. So I mean, obviously it's I was biased when I was researching this with my AI, but there is a clear pattern of like how a society spends its leisure time is actually influencing what the innovations or what their realization they come in their work time.
Yeah, I like that. That's what I was, it's so funny because before you started saying that, I was like, oh, the work is like really behind like what you're doing when you're not working. It's not like when the work itself, it's like all the preparation and like everything you did beforehand. So it's the same thing how you use the analogy. It's like if you don't want to start the day after being hungover, so what decisions are you making the night before so that you could support how you would be the next day? So it's just like make better choices. Understand the trade-offs and costs. But yeah, I like that. I agree wholeheartedly. Anything you'd like to add?
Last call at the bar.
Yeah, so since I kind of realized that I try to be more intentional about my downtime too, and about my free time, because I realized that if I don't spend it intentionally, then like unintentional activities feel it. Like I either just busy with my work or I just get on social media and scroll, and instead I realized that I feel way better if I actually intentionally choose that downtime. And as an entrepreneur in the hustle culture, modern world, you actually have to be intentional to have this rest time, because otherwise it just won't happen. I noticed.
Yeah,
So true.
I agree with that too.
So true.
Yeah. All right. Last call, and I see no movements of unmuting mics. Okay. Got it. Well, thank you guys for coming to the bar today and taking the time with us, and also sharing your stories. Like, it's so cool to hear all of your guys' inputs, your understanding of things. Also, for me, anyways, I'll speak for myself. Whenever I hear other people's perspectives, it always gives me a greater perspective for myself to understand other people and also myself. So I really appreciate you guys sharing all of that and pretty cool stories that we all went through so that we could be here coincidentally, synchronistically today. So I appreciate all of you guys for being here at the bar. And you can join us again next week, same time. And remember, come as you are,
Leave
as a legend. Bye.
See you later.
Guys.